Self-worth, by definition, is knowing your own value without having to earn it or prove it. It's your host, Angelina, here to guide you on the worthy journey where you finally stop seeking validation and start owning your power. Ready to level up? Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Worthy Journey. I'm so happy you're here today because today's episode was actually inspired by one of our listeners, Joe, who sent me a really thoughtful message about wanting guidance on how to take actions towards goals to maintain momentum without burnout. So thank you, Joe, for trusting in me to explore this with you and giving us the perfect starting point for today's conversation. And if you are listening and if you ever want to explore a topic or answer a specific question, I'd love to hear from you. You can message me on any of my socials at The Self-Worthy Coach or comment below. I read and respond to every single one. Your questions and stories are what make this journey so special. Now, before we dive in, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you never miss an episode. I've got so much goodness coming your way, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. If this conversation resonates with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it too. We're all on this worthy journey together. So today we're talking about something everybody struggles with at some point: staying consistent, building momentum, and creating real change. You'll learn how to break bad habits, build better ones, and how to actually follow through on your goals without burnout. I'll share the exact tools I give my clients to create change, including one that completely changed the way I approach my goals. So if you're ever feeling behind, scattered, stuck in old habits, or overwhelmed by your goals, this episode is exactly what you need. I want to start off with a powerful mindset shift. You are the creator of your life. Let that sink in for a second. Every thought, belief, and action you've taken up until this point has created your current reality, which means you have the power to create something new. Now, I know when I say that, your brain might be like, okay, but I just scrolled on TikTok for 2 hours and forgot to drink water. I can't even create a proper morning routine. And listen, I get it. I've been there. It's okay. You're not alone. And I'm here to tell you that your current circumstances have absolutely nothing to do with your future. The thoughts and actions you had in the past don't matter. What matters is what you choose to think and do right now. You are one decision away from a better life. Life can change instantaneously. You can wake up tomorrow and decide to take your life in a new direction. You can apply for a better job or learn investments and double your income, book the flight that's been on your bucket list forever. You can decide to get McDonald's after a night out and randomly meet the love of your life. And yes, that's a very specific because that's actually how me and Adrian met. But that's a cutesy story for another time. My point is that even if it feels like nothing is happening on the surface, things are shifting under the surface. If you just take the smallest amount of action, you will be in alignment with your desires. That's how manifestation works. That's how change works, through action. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, every action you take is a vote for the kind of person that you want to be. Think about that. You're always casting votes, even when you're not aware of it. For example, waking up and grabbing your phone, that's a vote. Scrolling on TikTok instead of reading, that's a vote. Skipping your walk that you said you would go on, that's a vote. But guess what? So was getting out of bed when you didn't feel like it, making your bed, sending that one email, taking one deep breath before reacting. So my point is that you're always taking action and casting votes. Actually, you're always consistent. You're either consistently taking negative action or consistently taking positive action. Positive actions are the choices that are going to take you in the direction of your goals. And by negative, I don't mean bad. I mean actions that keep you stuck. Actions that drain you or pull you back from your goals. And oftentimes, we do these things without ever thinking about it. You might not even be aware of your behavior because they're automatic habits. Habits are just repeated behaviors that are performed without conscious thought. This can be very good if your habits move you towards your goals, but not so much if they're negative because they're going to keep you stuck in the same place. So if you don't have any intention or plan for the day, your day is going to happen on autopilot. You'll just continue your current habits instead of taking action towards your goals. Think about it this way. Humans are made up of energy. So if we look at the laws of energy, well, energy can only move in one direction unless acted upon by another force. So as humans, we do not like change. We develop habits that move us in one direction unless new action is taken. Now you can change this by using the right systems for actions. I know it's not easy to say, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., journal, meditate, do Pilates, and drink hot lemon water, and then the next day you wake up, scroll on TikTok, and somehow end up on WebMD convinced you have 3 incurable illnesses. Trust me, I've been there and I've made it out on the other end, so I'm here to tell you that if you're having trouble taking action, you're not the problem. You're not lazy or undisciplined, you're just using the wrong system. So I'm going to teach you the system of building new habits and getting rid of old ones. The key is to make positive actions easier. Here's how. The 4 laws of behavior change based on the book Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend. But the first law is cue. Make it obvious. The second, craving. Make it attractive. 3, response. Make it easy. 4, reward. Make it satisfying. You can flip these to break a bad habit. 1, make the cue invisible. 2, make the craving unattractive. 3, make the response difficult. 4, make the reward unsatisfying. Let's say you want to stop doom scrolling before bed. Move your phone to the other side of the room to make it invisible or difficult to get. Put a book on your pillow. Make the good habit obvious. Light a candle to create a relaxing bedtime routine to make it attractive. And check off a habit tracker afterward to make it satisfying. Those are the 4 laws of behavior change, and they've helped me build every single one of my habits that I've done for the past, I don't even know how many years. Another useful tool is habit stacking, which is combining a current habit with a new one. So after I do a current habit, I will do the new one. For example, if I drink tea every morning and I want to start journaling, after I put the lemon in my tea, I will grab my journal and pen. And then you can even stack more on top of each other. After I close the notebook, I will change into my workout clothes. There are so many other great tools from the book Atomic Habits. These are just some, but I highly recommend reading it if you want to learn more on how to build habits. But those are the main ones that I use and that my clients use, and they've been really effective. But here's the most important thing I want you to hear today. You don't need to go big, you just need to start. And take small actions towards big goals. One of the reasons we burn out or struggle with taking action in the first place is because for whatever reason, when we say we want to start something, we feel like we need to be the best before we could even take the first step. Someone says they want to be a singer and they think they need to be like Beyonce. So the brain thinks, how will I ever live up to that, especially as a beginner? So it just gets overwhelmed. It sends you stress hormones, dysregulates your nervous system, which is your body's stress response, and it stops you before you can even start to take action. Listen, you don't have to be Beyonce. You just need to take small, consistent action towards your passions and your goals, one step at a time. That alone will lead to fulfillment because you'll be one step closer to your goals. I ask all my clients in the first session, what is one small step you can take this week that's in the direction of your goals? I want you to really think about that for a second. Write it down and then follow the 4 laws of behavior change that I just mentioned. It really is that simple. We think we need to have everything figured out before we take the first step, but perfectionism is fear in disguise. Listen, I wanted to start a podcast for over a decade. I told myself I wasn't ready, that I couldn't be like Jay Shetty. For those of you who don't know him, he has the #1 health and wellness podcast in the world, and he's actually one of my mentors. And you know what he told me directly last week? Start small, but start now and start today. Do it once and expect it to be bad. Do it a second time and still expect it to be bad. Do it a third and a fourth and a fifth time and expect it to be a little better, but by the 10th time, it'll still be bad. No, I'm kidding. You'll be a pro. Fail forward, start messy, start scared, start imperfect, but the only way you will improve is if you start. I also want to talk about burnout. Burnout is when you go too hard, too fast without rest or proper direction, and that's not sustainable. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Slow and steady wins the race. So I'm not going to tell you sleep when you're dead and F your feelings. Like, okay, relax, Gary Vee. Some of us are just trying to make it to our Pilates class on time without ruining our self-tan, not run a marathon with a torn ACL at 4 a.m. This is not a David Goggins podcast. While hustle culture might work for some people, for most of us, it doesn't. And doing too much without rest can easily lead to burnout and backtrack your progress. I know this all too well because it has happened to me more times than I can count. So it's not my recommendation, but I am your self-worthy coach. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit, just a nudge, because inaction is also a choice. Waiting until you're ready is often fear dressed up as productivity. And what you avoid, it controls you. If you avoid risk, your success will suffer. If you avoid failure, your growth will suffer. If you avoid discomfort, your dreams will shrink to match your comfort zone. And the worst part, that fear isn't even real. The only difference between fear and the imagination is one is uncontrolled. Let me give you a hint. It's fear. If you're going to imagine the worst case scenario, why not imagine the best case scenario too? It's just as likely to happen. And listen, if you've been trying to figure it all out on your own, if you're tired of starting over, falling off track, or feeling like no one really understands what you're going through, you don't have to do this alone. I've helped so many high achievers just like you get unstuck, rebuild self-trust, and create real momentum without burnout or losing themselves in the process. So if you're ready for support that actually meets you where you're at, I'd love to invite you to apply for a free one-on-one coaching session with me. It's a space to get clear on what's holding you back and walk away with powerful strategies to shift your habits, your mindset, and to gain momentum. Just head to theselfworthycoach.com or click the link in my bio to apply. Now, to bring this home, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're just one decision away from changing everything. So here's your next aligned action. Pick one habit, one shift, one small thing, not because it's going to change your whole life in a day, but because consistency will. Let your habits become a love letter to the version of you that you're building. And remind yourself, discipline isn't a punishment. It's devotion to your future self. Slowness isn't failure, it's sustainability. And momentum isn't about speed, it's about staying in motion, no matter how small the step. I want to thank you again for listening. If this episode gave you a breath of fresh air, please share it with someone who's ready to change on their terms. I'd love to hear which habit you're starting with. DM me on any of my socials at The Self-Worthy Coach, or leave a comment. I truly love hearing from each and every one of you. I always respond. Please don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I've got so many more real tools, powerful shifts, and soulful support coming your way. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay worthy. Disclaimer, this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only and is not a substitute for mental health treatment. Please speak to a licensed professional if you need support. Got it? Good. I'll see you in the next episode.